Alright, here it is. After, as you can see, several revisions and a whole lot of repeated work, because that's how I do things, instead of researching correctly that there are in fact thresholds for how much water is required for a ram pump of a particular size. I just went ahead and made it, and then made it, and then made it. But here we are. So you can see down here, the ram pump pipe coming in is much smaller. So the pump itself is now a 1/2 inch. That means that that piece and that piece are 1/2 inch. The rest of the pump is still the original size and design. So it is capable on the supply end of pushing up to 1 inch worth of pipe. So if we ever add water from another spring, we can convert back up to as much as potentially 1.5 inch on the supply. You can see that the pressure gauge, I'll try and get in a little bit closer, and I'll probably won't be able to see it, but without getting splashed, should be sitting at around 40 or 50. Let's get in there and see. Yep, 40. So that's where I would have expected it to be, because once you hit a point where there's no pressure being added, which is in our case the very top of the hill, is where the tank is. So the water is filling into the tank. I checked that earlier, and I'll get a little clip of that for you guys. But yeah, it's got a great great steady amount of water being put up there. It's going to be an awesome victory for us, if you will, an awesome addition to the farm, an awesome change in how much we have to manage our water. So you can see that the action of the ram pump, even with some bracing and a bunch of random stuff thrown on, because this is not buried yet, I may bury it up to about there, we'll see, is causing some shimmy and some shake in the pipe. You can probably hear that. So yeah, so the pipe is just full up to the top. At this 1/2 inch, we're getting more than 2 gallons consistently, and it processes about 2 gallons a minute. So our spring is outputting somewhere around 3 is my best guess, which is twice what it used to. So we're just going up the hillside here, following the 2 pipes, the supply and the delivery, if you will. So the supply for the tank and the delivery down for the drive pipe. So here it is. Here's our catchment. All of these ferns have just exploded. They're quite happy and ready to come back from all this damage we had to do to get this installed. There's the spring itself. Now that we're really going here, I'm gonna get that covered up with some more dirt, help protect that from being damaged by animals or whatever. There's the pipe going up the hillside, goes through that little cleft there by the trees. This right here is our overflow. It's additional water where it goes to. So when the water fills, this line is the main line for water coming out and down the supply pipe. This is the overflow pipe from the little spring box. It comes down, it can already drain, and it kind of does naturally drain some off into here. If the pipe backfills to here, then all that additional water can go on this line. It is not making enough that both pipes between the 2 of them and the loss on the ram pump don't take care of it. So let me show you what we got going on here. So the pipe on the right side there is the main line, and you can probably see it's got some holes in the side. And then the other pipe is the overflow pipe. Pretty good little flow of water there for the height of summer. So that's part of what makes me believe this truly is an artesian spring. It's coming up from the ground. It's not coming from a stream or anything like that, it just comes out. So then we'll just take a quick walk this way, and I'll show you the rest of the system. It's all functional tested it out this morning and all the parts, and just super excited. So excited to have this done, have this functioning as intended. So you can see up here, there's the pipe that came through the forest, and it joins up with this pipe that comes back down. This is our system downhill water delivery from the spring cistern, or the new cistern on the top of the hill, which is kind of way up there. So this comes down, goes here, crosses over, and goes into the old cistern pump house. We have a spigot in case we want to take water off right here. This is where the water comes from the overflow, and it just goes in via that valve and drops right down into the cistern. This is the 1,000-gallon old farmstead cistern. And inside of here, let's see if we can avoid getting stung by wasps I see floating around a lot of the time here. Here's the pump. So the water comes in on the top from the top cistern. There's a valve right there, comes up, goes over, goes down, goes to the house and everything else other than the orchard. We have a little gauge there, and it is reading 27, 25, somewhere in that range right here at the pump house, which is higher than the house. You've got your pressure tank for the pump. You've got your off valve for the pump being able to do anything, and you can turn that, and then the system will run off of the water in this cistern below us, and then pump pressurized. And it can, if you have that valve open as well, it can actually pump water up the hillside and to the spring cistern at the top and fill it as an emergency. So it can provide a secondary function there, or just as additional water flow from the overflow if we want to push it that way instead of use it on the yard. And then there's the little bit that comes in and just drops down directly into the cistern below us from the spring box over there. It kind of comes around the hillside and drives right in. So that's this part of the line. And right now we have the house, as you saw from the way those ball valves were, we have the house all set to run off of gravity. We tested it. Shower on the second floor had great pressure. In the basement it was over 30 psi, so on the second floor my guess is it'd probably be around that 25. And if we have that good of a pressure, we've got a minimum 3/4 volume for water coming in, we can do everything we used to do with that kind of pressure. And you know, run 2 major appliances if you need to, and it should be great. So just going to take a quick walk up the hillside here, show you the cistern at the top, and kind of already showed you the lines. Haven't buried them yet because I want to make sure that it's all worked. So there's the lower area and the forest coming up here, going into this dark forest up here, and I am breathing heavy. It is quite the walk up this hillside. So all this is going to need just covered and buried. And we're just doing it really shallow here because there's not going to be any equipment running along here, because we dug this by hand. And yeah, we're just going to come back along and shovel it over with dirt, maybe cover it with a little rock cairn if we have a spot where we're worried about animals impacting it. Here is the cistern now at the top of the hill, all hooked up. So we have a hose that is off of the cistern bottom, so we can take water here at the top of the hill and put it wherever we want it with enough hose length, should we choose to do that. I don't know where we'd use that for right now, but potentially we could power a system of more irrigation on this slope right here and plant in some more trees, or any number of other things. There is a valve here for turning off the downhill flow, so that if we needed to, we wouldn't have the tank drain out. This is the pipe that comes in on the right side. You can see it comes up. Instead of taking off at the bottom, it comes up. And higher than the outflow pipe, it dumps in right there. This is the outflow pipe. It drains down, over, down, corner there, downhill. And then it's hard to see it really from here, but right down there is our rain cisterns. And that's where all this system heads to, on the overflow. So there's no waste for us. We will be using that overflow of water here at the top from the constant working of the ram pump, and taking a huge benefit in electrical savings and time management. So doesn't sound like you can hear the trickle in right now, but let me just see if we can get up there so you can take a peek. See the inside of this puppy. This is a 10,000 gallon cistern, or sorry, 5,000 gallon cistern. One more time. Let's do this right. This is a 2,500 gallon cistern. The two at the barn are 5,000, so I have a total of 10,000 there. So here we go. Let's see if we can spot what's going on in here. So you should be able to see, hopefully, if it's not too dark in there right now. On the right side, there's the inlet higher up. On the left side, there's the outlet of water. So the tank is currently, we've been watering stuff in the house and it's the middle of the day and the inflow isn't necessarily huge, so it's probably not showing any water down, but that is what we've got going on, and we're just super excited that this project is working, that we are at a point now that it is the hottest part of the summer, in the middle of the summer, where we have this water stability and this time savings. So just wanted to share that with you guys, and some more videos and pictures to come.